I suppose really I prefer to focus on the positive and try and work out how to take it forward rather than talk about what all the problems are, because there are lots. And I suppose like with the whole Tech Mums thing, it's all about getting them excited about technology, and by doing that, they'll go out there and be positive about technology, and the more women we get going out there being positive about technology, the more it will just change, without looking at what all the issues are. I'd say from 20 years of being a female computer scientist, that probably the biggest thing that we can do, apart from kind of Tech Mums per se, as a project, but for women in tech in general, are to create more role models and really get those role models out there, talking to lots of people. And I also think that confidence building with women is quite important. And so, I don't know about my generation anyway, we were brought up to kind of be quiet, I suppose, and not really say that much, and speak when you're spoken to kind of thing. And so I think helping women to feel more confident, to get out there and to speak about what they're doing and what other women are doing, and just get more of a buzz going, I suppose. So role models and confidence building, I say, are the two things we could really do.
I have to mention there, for the past year, and we're about to launch into the second year at Silicon Republic, we do a campaign called Women Event Tomorrow.
Yeah.
In fact, by coincidence, if I'm right, yes, I am. Irish Research Council, Coder Dojo, and Science Foundation Ireland are all supporters, and that is actually a coincidence on this panel. Genuinely, but I suppose anyone who's interested in skills and the future of the country is going to be interested in the area of women and gender. I just want to go over to you, Bill, in the context of that, because I think if you look at things like software developers in Ireland, I think we're talking 6-7% women. I'd say that's probably optimistic, frankly. But I know, chatting to yourself and James, who founded Coder Dojo, that you have, is it something like 40% girls or 30% girls? Or?
Yeah, 30 to 40% worldwide, and at my dojo it's 50-50, Coder Dojo in New York 50-50, a lot of other dojos are 50-50, and that's...
and this is kids aged between? Between
5 and 17. And interestingly, also their mums and dads. That's only been the result of a lot of hard work in trying to figure out what it is that can get girls to come to a coding environment and then stay. Because what we found was we had a lot of girls coming in, they'd take one look, go, this is not for me, and they'd leave. And we tried a lot of things. We tried role models, we tried sort of star power, we tried girls only dojos, and there are some actual girls only dojos that are very successful, but we wanted to make it more generic. And I just observed there were a couple of girls that did stay, and they sort of clustered together a bit, and I observed this and I thought, well, what if we promote them, we do a little bit of affirmative action, and we promote them to mentor the new kids that come in, as just run the 15-minute newbie class. And I hit upon this thing of peer role models and peer mentoring. We know peer-to-peer learning works in ICT extremely well. We heard that in the previous panel. But just the idea of, well, if you promote some of the girls to be mentors, what will happen? And it's been amazing. When the girls come in and they see that the first contact is a girl their own age, who knows her stuff, who's confident, helps them out, they stick to it like glue. And we have girls, we have the local Camogie champion now at our Coder Dojo. You don't have Camogie over there, but trust me, it's
big.
It's a big thing here. And we never would have got her and her friends if there wasn't, a girl at the very first moment, and not a woman, not a mother, but a girl her own age, being that peer role model. And the other thing that I've noticed at Coder Dojos is, we have one rule, which is be cool, but we have a very important guideline, which is parents have to stay. Now, we did that for child protection reasons and for also so that we wouldn't be a free babysitting service because we don't charge anything. But what I've noticed over time is that the mums that stay, there's kind of an osmosis thing that goes on because they see their daughters using the technology and they're in the same room, and every now and again they get curious. And so some of the mums are tech savvy, and again, where the tech savvy mum has sort of run a little class for the other mums, that I can totally see the whole power of tech mums. So I think that's that's sort of an aside effect that's happened at the dojo, but I'd love to sort of make that more institutionalized, because it is a question that I get a lot. When are you going to run Coder Dojo for adults? And frankly, I'm not up for that challenge because kids learn really easily. But maybe if we could work together on just bolting on tech mums for some of the mums, because they're already in a room with computers. They're already in a room where there are other mentors around.
There's something seriously complimentary there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. I'm glad you guys have met. That's good.
Well, not formally yet.
You're a little far away, but you'll be probably after. I suppose I wanted to get to then that idea, when we did the research for Women Invent Tomorrow with Accenture, and we were talking to parents and kids and everything, and it came up, that exact issue, which is really relevant to what you were saying, Sue, is the influence of parents is so strong. How do we get the message out to the parents that, these courses are, not law, not accounting, that they're really fascinating courses, whether, moving on now to third and fourth level, are the future?
Yeah. I think we've identified that the parents are a really important cohort, and SFI runs the Smart Futures initiative, which is really about getting industry together to talk to schools, to teachers, to pupils and to parents. And I suppose we've traditionally gone in and talked to the pupils, but I think we need to broaden that out. I think we need to be going out and talking to the parent-teacher meetings. I think there is still this fear factor around technology jobs. So you use the term portfolio career, and I think parents tend to be conservative when it comes to their children. We tend to take the sort of precautionary approach, and we want to shepherd them down the safe routes. And I think that's initially the professions. I think we probably have more comfort now with the big names. So we know it's okay if your kid goes to work for a Google or an IBM, but and to Anne's point, I think we're less comfortable around the startup sector, around imagining our children going into that sort of more, I suppose, flexible and maybe seen as a more volatile sector. So we definitely have to get the role models in talking to the parents as well as the students. I think as well, coming back to Bill's point about the synthetic biology, we're not just talking about IT today, and you talked about what you're giving these mums is a basic level of knowledge and comfort, and people can kind of take it from there. And I think we actually need to think about that across science and technology. We're facing a whole barrage of new information about genetics and synthetic biology, even in terms of things like finance or just basic understanding of nanotech. I think we need to be more concerned about the whole population having a base level of skills around science and technology, because we're all going to need it to adapt to the new world.
And it's funny, the last time we were having, and Orla, you were here with me actually, last time we were having a discussion about gender last year, briefly. I think it was Regina Moran said that we need TV series, Do you remember? She was saying if we had soaps about engineers and technologists and that. And funnily enough, I don't know whether anybody saw it in Silicon Republic yesterday, Mary Aiken. She's a cyber psychologist, and she's the inspiration for the next spin-off series of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but most kids I know watch Crime Scene Investigation. What a fantastic role model, and it's based on an Irish woman, which is nice, I thought. Orla?
And I think on that, the role model thing, because this gender issue has been very resistant to all sorts of attempts to budget over the years. I've been involved in various programs for decades now, and we're still, the cohort that entered UCD engineering first engineering last year, it was the points were way up, the numbers were way up, but the female percentage was actually down. So we're not making headway there. There are a few things that are new and that we might be able to use. One of them is this issue of role models directed at the parents and at the guidance counsellors, who are a hugely important cohort. We have women within Ireland, or Irish women internationally, who have recently ascended to very key positions in our semi-states. Bríd Horan from ESB is here, in our multinationals, both at home and abroad, in our startups. So if we can profile to that community women of that level of achievement, it will start to break down some of the suspicion that I think Ruth has rightly identified as to whether this is a long-term career for my child. The other thing that is new, and Bill alluded to it, is the whole new way in which we can do peer-to-peer marketing of careers. And a place where this always strikes me, I'm a judge every year, and it's such a joy, at the Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition. And the girls in Kinsale Community School, who won last year, they are an absolute joy and such ambassadors for the competition. Ciara Judge, one of the three, her sister Aisling Judge, won some years ago, and she describes very well how she went back to the school, which at that point had almost no involvement in the competition, but by her enthusiasm for the competition, she got them fired up. We've seen now her sister and her pals win last year, and they had, 40-something entrants in the competition this year. When you were at the award ceremony, when there was a prize, and there were many prizes going to Kinsale Community School, the roof was lifted with the enthusiasm from that cohort. So this is from starting with one girl, Aisling, the next cohort, Ciara and her pals, and it mushrooms out to one school, and then to a region, and then who knows how far it can go. So if we can enlist that through all the new social media vehicles that we now have, then we can start, I think, to make some real progress.